Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 9th and 10th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline Comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday night as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Good evening. Welcome, everybody, to Wednesday Wham with Silverline. We've got our wonderful panel of guests tonight. We've got Barbara Kullberg, our wonderful Empress of Inks. Say hi, Barb.
Hi, Barb.
And then we got Rob Davis, our venerable artist. How you doing there, Rob?
Doing good. Hi.
Doing good. And we got Mickey Clausen, who is joining us tonight. Wonderful. Thank you. And he's going to probably have some major insights for us tonight because we are discussing European comics tonight. And part of the reason why I came up with this topic is, one, I had nothing else to come up with. And two, I haven't looked at my European comics in a long, long time. And I decided, let's go see what is happening in the European market. So, it's been interesting, and this was all triggered by a comic book crossover with a European comic and a North American comic, which we will look at, which has absolutely beautiful art. And we will maybe discuss some elements of what are the differences between European and North American, and what makes the European books European. So, all right. So, what do we know about European comics? Anyone? If anything.
I know that they like certain types of comics we don't care for over here. I know I know the Donald Duck books, and those kind of books were selling over there long after they lost popularity here. So
yep,
that's about all I know.
I know that they're a lot less constrained by censorship than we are.
Yeah. Well,
is that putting it politely?
Dr. Wortham wasn't in Europe, yeah.
No.
You have any initial thoughts there, Mickey?
I don't read many European comics. I've worked on some though. I've been working with a publisher over in Denmark since 2003 is when I started with him. I did some Doctor Who books for him. But one of the real big ones I did over there, it's mainly a children's book. It's got writing and just like 1 or 2 illustrations per page. It's a hardcover book. It was like 100 pages. It's called Sasabasa. They got a cartoon show over there on it and everything. And it's really a big thing on them, but it's a lot different. I haven't been able to read it. I did the illustration with over 100 of them, but I can't read it. Yeah.
So how do they give you instructions to color the book? Do they just say do whatever you want, or do they actually give you stuff in English that you can understand?
They gave me the 2 main characters. They sent me color schemes for it, and the rest of it was pretty much do what you want. You know. So,
how do you think they differ from American comics?
The art's the same. Storytelling is, I don't know. Well, like I said, I couldn't read anything. There's no script or anything. It's just color the illustrations. But the artist that drew it, just from the pages, you could tell, you know, it's got a good storyline. This artist is a good storyteller because you can follow the story without even having words to it about what's going on in it. And that one, like I said, was more of a hardcover children's book. I've done the superhero comics for them. A couple other ones I was doing. There's one called Sherlock Mouse. And I really liked that one, the art and everything. I'm hoping they continue with it. And then they do a lot of comic strips, paper comic strips too. I've worked on Vilvey and Wagner and Milk Cow and just a bunch of different stuff. So,
is the format any different?
Yeah, the regular comic books are smaller. They're about half an inch smaller in height compared to the American comics.
Really?
Probably the metric system
yeah,
makes it a little different.
Yeah, let me get a ruler real quick. So,
page length?
Yeah, width-wise, it's about the same. Yeah, 6 and 6.75. The heights are only 8.5. Or no, take that back.
It's got to be a little bigger than that. We're probably closer to 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5.
Yeah.
So they're about an inch shorter than ours. Height-wise.
Could you hold those up?
When you showed it earlier, it looked like it was an inch shorter.
Yeah. Could you hold those up for us? And there we go. Ducks Drangen.
And yeah, it's about an inch shorter in height. Width-wise,
almost exactly the same width. Yeah, it's probably
are they still
the metric page sizes? Yeah.
Yeah, are they still like 24 pages long?
Yes. Actually, I think this one is actually longer. I think it's more like almost 30 pages. Let's point out real quick, count the middle. It's been so long since I did this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the staples. So that's what, 28 pages?
Yeah.
About 28 pages for the book. So like this is what they look like. So formatting is about the same, like I said, just an inch, you know, in height smaller.
Okay.
So
yeah. All right. So those would be more kind of like more classic comic.
Yeah.
So but the hardbacks are a little bit bigger in size. So if you were to look at something like here's Cape Town and that classic Tintin, the Tintin book might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So this would be the classic BD kind of style. So that's interesting. So they also have a floppy comic market as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Did not know that. So I was always under the impression that they were more on the hardback approach, which typically is 48 to 60 pages. Yeah. So, and is that Blueberry? Is that Blueberry, which is one of the classics?
Oh, sorry. I went to do it myself. There we go. Yes, these are the ones that I have. I have Blueberry from Mobius. The Magic Crystal, again, Mobius. All my overseas stuff is all more Mobius, and Visions of Barzak.
All right.
So those are my 3 overseas, and obviously I love Blueberry. I mean, this guy made everything look easy. His style was just so organic. I was very, 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 very fortunate that he did a portrait of me, which I have on my Facebook somewhere.
Oh wow! So it's interesting. He goes by Jean Girard as his Blueberry artist, but then when he does his Arzak, he went with his Mobius moniker.
Yeah.
So he tried different styles with his depending on his nom de plume.
This is Mobius. The Blueberry was Mobius.
Oh, they did put Mobius on it. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know about the Magic Crystal. Yeah. Jean Mobius Gerhard.
Yeah.
So he did use his real name.
Yeah. So the European comics that everybody knows, usually, but not always, are. Let's see here if I can bring it up. Here we go. Good old Tintin. Tintin. Everybody knows Tintin, right? Is that showing up?
Yeah, you got to add it to the stage.
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, dear audience.
There it is. Here it comes.
There's good old Tintin. So, all right. Oh.
How long has Tintin been around?
Tintin has been around. Well, his first one was Tintin in the Soviets, and I'm not sure when that came out, but I think that had to be in the 40s, if not earlier. So
he's been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah. So, Tintin Reporter. Does it tell us when it was first published? No, it does not. So, there's good old Tintin. And it's very interesting. If you followed Tintin from the start, you could see the style changes over time. Even though it's a very clear line throughout. By the time you get back to the end, to the final book, which is Tintin in the Picaros, which is here.
1929
was the first book. Wow. So the Tintin in the Picaros, the line in becomes a little bit more thick. It goes back to being a thicker. It's very interesting. So it's kind of like, I guess he got a little bit old and he wasn't as refined. So I never caught that as a younger person. My boys picked up the book from the library the other day, and it was like, I never noticed that before. It wasn't as refined as some of the other books that he had done. It might have been rushed a little bit too. So it was interesting to see that.
Apparently Tintin was created in 1929 as a comic strip for a youth strip in a Belgium newspaper.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yeah. And then everybody knows Lucky Luke, I think. So Lucky Luke is also something I grew up with. And I read those absolutely hilarious stories. This one here was one of the ones, Rails on the Prairie. This one I had, and I read this over and over and over again. It was a beautiful book.
What's Lucky Luke about? I've never heard of it.
Oh, Lucky Luke is about a American cowboy, and he's the fastest draw in the West. And he's so fast he can beat his shadow. So on the back of the book they have a picture of him shooting his shadow, and his shadow is still has his hands Hands by his sides, and Lucky Luke is shooting his a hole through the shadow. So yeah,
What a
so
great
he's
concept. That's funny.
the fastest gun in the West. So
Yeah.
and so a lot of times when you end up having him with the shootout with the other side, you don't actually see him shooting anyone. You just see the bullets flying, and then he's putting his gun back into its holster in the next panel. So yeah, so Lucky Luke was a fantastic read, hilarious read, and yeah, very very good. And then of course there's Asterix and Obelix, which is
Yes.
a vintage classic, which many people know.
Yes.
And they apparently have a couple of books I had no idea existed, which are brand new. They just released one last September, and I didn't even know it existed. And this is the one before that, which is called The Shefton's Daughter. The original artists, I think, have either passed away or have moved on because they can no longer do the books. So the new artists, you can see that they kind of carry the style, but there's little
Subtle
intricacies that
differences,
are
huh?
different, and you're kind of like, oh, interesting. Okay, that's don't know how to like. This is very. It's in the vein, but this is very more modern.
Yes. Yeah. The
So-
attitude's definitely different. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very modern attitude.
So this
Oh,
is
yeah.
so Asterix and Obelix look right, but these other characters here on the side kind of look. They look kind of like they fit, but they kind of look like they're not quite the. So it's kind of interesting to see how the style has progressed, but it's also interesting to see how they maintained it as well. So yeah, so this is a very interesting. So I'm gonna have to go look into that because I'm a huge Asterix and Obelix fan, and I have not seen the new books. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, yeah. So there's definitely a format difference between the European books and the North American books. And I'm wondering, does that affect the storytelling maybe because of the different shape of the book? Any thoughts?
It might a little. I mean, there's still vertical rather than horizontal. So
Yeah, unlike
Yeah,
some,
there's-
Asian books,
yes,
those
Yeah,
can be
and
read
they-
from left.
right to left.
Right to
Yeah.
left.
So there's none of that translating where you have to flop everything, which is that's a lot of work when you're translating an Asian book. You essentially have to flop every panel in order to just get it to read properly or flop
mean,
the page.
Apart from having to translate it, I don't think they look any different. To tell you the truth, I didn't even know they were different sizes until Mickey pointed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the 80s in Japanese books, me and my daughter, when she was like 8, we did translations for Sun Comics. We had to flip the art, and then back then, we were doing it with no computers, so we were printing out the text from a typewriter, and then we'd have to cut the balloons and paste it over it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
That's what we call craft work.
And yes, you had to cut the balloons, type them on paper, cut them out, paste them over it, and then the parts where the balloons didn't line up because the pictures were flipping, we had to go in and replace the zipatone patterns that were
Oh, no.
still showing.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
A lot of work.
Oh, wow.
A lot of
it was a lot
work.
of work. We had to cut out parts of the zipatone and then paste it over it, then paste the balloon over it, and get it all to match up. And me and my daughter, we did it by hand. We were both doing that stuff.
And how much were they giving you per page to do that?
Oh, geez. Back then, it was only like for probably like 10, 15 bucks a page. Wasn't much.
Oh, man.
We were starting out, and so, you do what you had to do.
And how long
Yikes.
did it take you to do that? To translate and replace the zips?
They gave us the translations, so we just had to cut the balloons and repair all the zipatone, flip the panels and everything. And so just production work on it. I had my 8-year-old daughter helping me, so I trained her. So we were knocking out about a page a day with flipping all the panels, cutting out the zipatone and all this stuff. And
But that's still $15 a day. That is
a page. So
I know, but
And
you were
you're
only
doing
doing
one page a
one
day,
page a
yeah.
day, right?
this is back in the 80s. You're talking 30, 40 some years ago.
Yeah.
That's
See,
still
minimum wage
that's
was back then.
yeah. Minimum wage was around $3.50 or something like that an hour, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Back in the late 70s, early 80s, somewhere around then. Less than $5. Yeah, but
Yeah,
So you're
still,
still basically
that's
making minimum wage.
a day's worth. You weren't even making minimum wage, really.
No.
Yeah.
We got 15
Wow.
a page, so depending how many pages you could do. So,
Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
but,
Yeah,
I had
computers
to-
today though would be a lot quicker and easier. Yes.
Yeah.
Even matching the zip would be easy, man.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That was back in the old Zipatone days.
Yeah,
still
back
refuse.
in our day.
Back in our day, we walked
Yeah.
uphill both ways to school.
We had
Yeah.
to make the dots one at a time.
Yeah. I recolored the old Panacons from 85 and 90, and I had to remove all the zipatones. So I had to print out blue lines and just re-ink the whole page and then scan it in and color it.
Oh my.
He didn't have the original art, so I was scanning in an old comic I had from 85 and then, whiten it up because it was all yellow by then from 85. And then I'd have to drop off the zipatone, and that got to be a hassle. So I just started printing out the blue lines and re-ink the whole thing.
Oh, man. If that was quicker, what the hell?
Yeah, it was.
Man.
All right.
That's a lot of
Well-
work.
But yeah,
Well-
European comics it's fun to work on. I wish I could read the text, but I can get the gist of it with the stories that, just the art. You can
Yeah,
imagine what
If it's good storytelling, yeah, you should be able to figure it out.
All right. Well, I have a bunch of samples that we're going to take a look at, and we'll see what we think, and maybe some of it will inform us as to how they tell the stories and what. I have a couple of thoughts that hopefully it doesn't put our North American noses out of joint. so let's find out here. All right, so here is a cover to a comic called Barracuda, and what would one assume this might be about?
A guy who tends towards violence. Just a guess.
Oh my.
This is a pirate book.
Oh, okay.
And so Rob, you did ships in a comic once. So
In fact, yeah, I've done illustrations of illustrations for a pirate book at Airship 27. So yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to look at this, I take it. Yeah.
So you might appreciate.
I was gonna put some lines on my paper here, but I'll shut that down for a minute. Take a look.
So
at
this
what
is
you
this
got.
is this is Barracuda, which is a BD, and So this is pretty crazy and intense, and this is very well done. But then there's another pirate book here called Raven, which absolutely.
Oh my. Well, go back.
Nice.
Oh, hang on. Let's get to the cover.
Oh wow!
Like, how intense is that? Like this, that's cool. Like this is so cool.
That's that Kirby forced perspective usage there.
God, the art on that is amazing.
That's lovely.
Yeah, this is
Nice technique. Yes,
this is a gorgeous looking book.
Oh, the coloring's wonderful too. Look at
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. The colors are
very watercolorish.
Yeah.
But yeah, a muted tone.
Look at that ship. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
that guy, who drew that knows their stuff.
Yeah.
I had to research the crap out of what I did, and I guess, yeah, that looks very, very good.
So this is
professional.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah.
Is that a 2-page splash? I hope
that's a 2-page spread. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's awfully small otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
lovely,
so-
lovely stuff.
So the thing that's interesting here is they tend to, in the European books, they tend to be much more rigid in their panel layout. But when they do that, they end up having a when you hit like the splash, it really has a punch. So you're reading your panels and you got the consistent beats, and then you hit the different spots in the beats.
Yeah, check that out. That one bigger panel there. Yeah, the third panel.
Yeah.
That stretches like he's paused in the room. Yeah. The beats really work. Wow, that's nice.
So
that's very well done.
So this is a series I definitely have to look into a little more, because this looks really
page.
Yeah. Yes.
8.
Well, compared to Mickey's book that Mickey had, Mickey's is closer to the North American format. This is the more traditional European format, which is a little bit larger. And so because it's a larger page size, they end up sticking way more panels on a page. So they can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this one. Like back here,
9.
you've got
there's 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, like they but then they also tend to focus the panels a lot. Like this is just craziness.
Yeah.
So you're saying this is in like magazine format page size?
Yeah. So they have what's called A4. A4, A2. So they have a different. Yeah. So it's bumped up slightly from. It's a little larger than the North American format, but it's not that much larger. But the drawing size, when you actually go to the drawing page, is like it's bigger than 11/17. So
it's more than half up.
Yeah, something.
Because American comics back in the day, they were done twice up, which was 22 by, whatever it was, 30, and you could get into a lot more detail. But then they cut it back because they could get more pages in the camera. They were shooting it at the printer.
So they have a wide variety of different topics that they tend to approach. They love their pirates. Apparently, they have a lot of pirate books. And then here's something that's. So I'm just going to show you guys just a wide variety of things to take a look at, just so we can kind of get a feel for what they're doing. Now this book here to me feels like a North American book ran into Europe, and then.
That's Rick Riordan. Yeah.
And so this is a very so you have a North American sensibility being applied to a European page size. So you end up with this very different kind of feeling.
Yeah, only 6 panels on there.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A lot depends. Like that one Sherlock Mouse I'm doing, I got pages here. There's like 8 panels, 9 panels, 11 panels, 8 panels, 9 panels a page.
11 panels.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a beautiful page, though.
Oh yeah. Now here's a interesting book. This one's called Nephilim. Do you guys know what the Nephilim are?
Is there half angel, half human?
Yeah, giant. And so this is called On the Trail of the Ancients Nephilim, and this is a absolutely stunning looking book.
Wow.
Yeah.
And these guys have a very I don't know how to put my finger on it, but the European comics seem to have a more of a novel approach.
Well, the artists I've seen so far are amazing.
Yeah, these guys
high
just
standards.
Their attitude toward comics is different from ours. They see it as a true art form. Whereas here in America, it's not seen as an art form. It's just seen as a throwaway. So that's the difference, and that's why that's some lovely stuff. Wow.
Yeah. So now I really wanted to bring this book up because remember we were having that discussion about color. Was it last week we were talking about it, and we were talking about how you can kind of
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about, okay, so all these pages here, they all kind of have a bluish tint or tone to them, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you get this color established through the book, but now you get down to here,
Ooh.
and then what and now you got that red punch.
Yeah, you got
right?
some warm colors here finally.
Yeah,
Starting to come in.
and
The
so
browns and the reds and
And the
yeah.
grays.
yeah, but
Yeah.
but
I
then
mean,
then they subtly, or not subtly, but they stick in the bright color in one spot, and that like grabs your attention, right? And then
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
very
Ooh. Yeah,
very
yeah.
amazing color
Oh,
palette
and
in
then
this
that
book.
green pops in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
so
it's like they're progressing through the
yeah,
seasons or something. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and that's exactly what they're doing in this book. So yeah, so very
Wow,
cool.
nicely done. Yeah, because there's the browns of the late fall
Yeah,
on the trees. Yeah. Yet there's still the green in the grass. Yeah, that's
yeah,
late. That's mid to late fall. That's wonderful. Yes, nicely done.
yeah. So now here's a book called Purple Heart, which is a different kind of style. I don't know that this appeals to me, but it's the cover is fantastic. I love the
Yeah, the
very
the,
cool.
the artwork inside is pretty static. At
Yes,
least what you've shown so far. Yeah,
yeah,
whereas it's a different storytelling style. It's very well. There's a little action there.
yeah.
And nice
So
color.
so
Yeah.
they also tend to have stories that are a little bit more introspective as well. That seem to
Yeah,
be
because now you're getting into this is a lot of talking
there's
heads here.
yeah, exactly. So this is a
A ton of talking heads. Wow.
and sometimes they
Yeah.
build up the story though, right? So then they
And
build it up,
there's
build it up, build it up,
and not
build
a
it up.
lot of different angles, camera angles either. It's
Yes,
very
it's very
television like.
straight.
Yeah,
Yes,
very television like.
yeah, and this is also very typical of a lot of books there as well. All right, so here's a book called Swan Song, which is got a different style.
That kind of cartoonish. Got a little cartoon bit to it.
So
Yeah.
here's the cover, which is really kind of nice, kind of watercolorish approach. I like it a lot. So it's something to do with the military, and then the interiors are kind of like
More painty.
yeah, very very painterly.
Mm-hmm. Maybe gouache or
I'm
watercolor.
pretty sure it's watercolor.
Yeah.
Gotten away from the inks.
Yeah. So they and you notice they also don't in this book they don't do hard borders on the edges.
I
They
see that.
Yeah.
so that's kind of neat. So yeah, so this is common. They will have the 4 tiers, on the page, and then they break it up like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 panels. And sometimes I talk to a European comic guy, and he says sometimes the formality or the formal approach to the comics helps them actually get the story done, because then they don't have to think about it. They just say, okay, I'm going to keep it at the 4 tiers, and then whenever they
like,
need to, then they break it up into like, okay, well now here's a full page,
if you
right?
start reading a lot of Kirby comics, you'll see he does a lot of that. He'll have a 4-panel page, then do he'll break it up into 3 tiers, as many as 9 panels on a page if he's doing.
That previous page had 9 panels.
Yeah.
This one had 9 panels. I counted them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah. All right. So then this is an interesting take, because this is a kind of, for lack of a better term, a European manga.
Yeah. Sure looks like it.
So the thing that's really interesting about this is, so this is called The Frontier. I was like, this kind of like,
yeah, very manga-ish. Wow. But yet it's a Western.
Yeah, and it's Western, and then it's very European. So it is a very interesting book, because it feels like a mix
There seems to be a lot of Western or pirates in European.
Yes,
Why are they so fascinated with the cowboys?
Yeah,
Cowboy
yeah,
area.
very, very much so. And there's also a lot of a lot of Roman history as well. So this is a very intriguing book. Like it's just very different. So the Europeans like to play as well. Now this is called the Wolf Queen, and this is let's go up here. More of a, I would say, informed by animation, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it.
And but beautiful book. It's very, very clear art and very simple.
Yeah,
But
it's not overly rendered.
yeah,
Like some of the other Europeans you were showing us earlier had a lot of rendered backgrounds.
Yeah.
Again,
These
this
are
one has
very
9 panels.
Yeah. And they do this a lot. They will stick in this open panel at the end.
Yeah, that's a lazy layouts thing.
Yeah.
That's a Wallywood lazy layout there.
1,
Give
2,
it
3,
punch,
4,
yeah.
5, 6, 7. And they're also very good at always their last panel always leading you to the next page. They're exceptionally good at that.
Oh, that's pretty.
This is really cool. Yeah. This is
Yeah,
very, very,
coloring
very cool.
really brings that one out.
Yeah. All right. Don Vega. This is Zorro.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
So again, it's a different style and approach, and again, they got the 4 tiers going. And here again, they're doing that color thing, right? The color, and then they have like the yellows and the purples, and then the little hint of something.
And then start bringing in greens and
yeah. There's only like
blue. Oops,
3 colors per page.
Yeah, but it's so. But like here, this panel here with the bluish background and then the green punch. Like everything you need to know is right there. And then here we got the action with the Zorro-ish character running around. Very moody. Love it. So what are you guys noticing about the layouts compared to the North American books? Like what?
Well,
very few overlapping panels.
Yes.
They don't.
Yeah.
They stick to squares or rectangles a lot. They don't break the planes a lot. They don't have unusual layouts. It seems like the American comics are always trying to get you that at least a few pages of a strange layout in every issue. Right. Dynamic layout, where these are pretty regulation.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dr. Crow. Now this one might be a little bit more on the different side.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah, that's
more North American
panels and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, that's more like what I do. Yes,
that's exactly right. Yeah, this one's got more of an American layout feel on it.
Mm-hmm.
And a very different style compared to the other European books that we've looked at. So yeah, this is and then they also do stuff like this. This would be a very introspective looking kind of
slice of life. Yeah, slice of life storytelling. Yes.
Yeah. Now, see, I've got a conundrum here because I've been consistently told that if you don't have at least half of your issue has some kind of action going on, nobody's going to read it. But then I see like these slice of life, and even Strangers in Paradise, which I love, didn't have a lot of action in it. I mean, they would occasionally have action, but there was most of it was just day-to-day stuff, you know?
Yeah, so I think it really depends on who you're targeting as your audience. Yeah. So that's part of the thing. So if you were in the DC Marvel universes, I mean, your target audience is, you know, teenage boys or younger who want action. So if you want to do slice of life stuff, you need to be targeting, you know, a whole different group of people.
Demographic, yeah.
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 But you know, anime seems to have, or anime, the Japanese
Manga.
comics, manga.
Yes,
thank
they
you,
also have a
thank
lot
you.
of slice of life as well.
They
Yes.
have a ton of slice of life books, and they do well.
Yep. But they've also built the market for it as well
True.
over
Right.
there. So yeah. Now this book here
Ooh, I like that
has
color.
a very, very interesting style. I love it. This is very cool.
Wow, how many panels on that page?
This
God, you have to count them.
1,
And
2,
a lot of
3, 4,
balloons too.
5,
Look at all those
6,
balloons.
7, 8,
7,
9,
8,
10.
9.
This is a panel here, the little
10.
eye.
Oh my
10.
God, there's a 10th panel.
But it's only 10 panels, but it looks much busier than that, right?
Yeah, well, it's all those word balloons.
Yeah. Okay, now
There's
this
a
one has
lot
more.
of word balloons.
1,
Oh my
2,
God.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This one has 12.
Jesus.
But I don't know if does it really have a lot of word balloons, or is it just the fact that they're square and they kind of like they lead you through the story? So this is a very designy book called Gentle Mind.
Oh, lovely. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's got very cool style, very cool approach. So so yeah,
That's a
this
cool
is
panel.
whoa.
Very limited palette. Oh, yeah, we're at the family show here.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, so that's a different style. This is do you guys know the actor Gérard Depardieu?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So this
Oui.
is apparently 5 years with Gerard. Or Gerard, 5 years with Depardieu. So this is apparently some sort of comic that's based on him, the actor. So this is a little bit more of the cartoony kind of approach. Yeah.
Not a very refined style either. It's
Looks like Sergio Aragonas.
Yeah, kind of in that vein.
Although I think Sergio's a little more refined than this is, but yes.
It's in that
Similar.
vein.
Yeah, it's it's very similar, yes.
All right. So we got another pirate story here. Gypsies of the High Seas.
Oh my.
So this is yet another kind of style.
Oh, a little more style,
I like
a little more action in this, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're putting a little more buckle in the swash.
Yeah, definitely. And camera angles this artist uses more camera angles than some of the other ones did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he breaks it up.
Very nice color palettes again.
Yeah, it seems limited, but that's good.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of real extreme camera angles on any of these.
Not extreme, no. But this one's got more than the others did.
Okay, now for this one might have some more extreme stuff going on. This one's called Gang On. So this is called Captains.
Oh my!
So this is a little bit more cartoony and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to be careful because there's
some adult stuff here. Yes.
Well, it's not necessarily adult stuff. There's just somewhere where there's a bunch of people running with no clothes on. Because I guess, but this one has a little bit more of a action stuff going on, more cartoony.
Yeah, again, the camera angles don't change much, but there's a lot more motion in this. You get a feel of motion in it.
Yeah, again, we're missing that dynamic Kirby-esque, action that.
Yeah, the pop off the page, the jump off the.
Yes.
Yeah, the forced perspective. I call it forced perspective that he uses a lot. Yeah.
All right. What do we have here? Here's another more kind of introspective book, which is.
Ooh, Ooh la la. Oh, lovely.
Very stylistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moody.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was in this
It's
book.
a little
I
risque
apologize.
there.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Sorry.
I missed it.
So,
So
yeah. Okay. Good.
I
So
almost saw it.
then they do stuff like this, which is a very stylized book. A very limited color palette.
it would be an interesting experiment to give, say, somebody like Mickey. You get 3 colors for the whole book.
Yeah.
Well, check
Work
this
with it.
out. There's no word balloons or even captions or sound effects. It's all silent.
Until we get to here.
Until there. Wow.
Yeah. Mickey, you still with us?
Yeah, just looking at the.
Yeah. So
color.
what would you say to a limited color palette? How would you enjoy that, or would that drive you nuts?
Are you talking like if you pick yellow, you could use any percentage of yellow, or?
Yeah, well, we'll give you yellow, red, and purple. Those are the 3 colors you can use, but you can use any variation of those 3 colors.
Yeah, depending on the story, you can pull it off. Yeah, you have to have the 3 colors fit the mood of most of the story. So, but yeah, you can pull it off. It's not that hard.
All right. But would you enjoy it?
It'd be a challenge, yeah. I always enjoy a
It'd be a
challenge.
challenge, wouldn't it? It'd definitely be a
I was thinking
challenge.
about the project that we did last week that I showed you I was working on.
No.
I changed the overlay from blue to brown, and then I was thinking about doing a third test, doing with just solid, certain limited amount of colors in it, like 3-4 colors, and that's it.
That would be
To see
cool.
what it would do.
Oh, that's 1066.
Here's another thing I've noticed so far. There aren't a lot of European comics that use bright colors.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are very much more in the muted approach.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
so
Those I like.
go ahead.
But you got, but it's funny because the guys that I'm working for in Denmark, they like the bright.
They like the bright. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of
another bunch of panels on that page. Look
Yeah.
at all those panels. And you talk about word balloons. Here we go.
Yeah. So what was it? So I was talking to a guy who did a bande dessinée, or he did a full blown book like this, and I showed him some of my colors, and he's like, no. I'm like, oh. And he's like, no. It's offensive to my eyes. I was like, oh man, ouch.
Thanks a lot. Thanks,
I was
buddy.
like, all right.
Yeah.
So, but I was listening. So he said, no, it's so he said what they do is that they use the color palettes or the ideas coming from the Renaissance painters, and he said, so what they would do in order to kind of temper their colors a bit is they would throw in a brown on the color, or they would put a brown wash on top of the color just to kind of mute it, just to kind of temper it, so it wouldn't be so
percentage brown over everything.
So it wouldn't be so bright and punch you in the eyes.
Oh, come on! We need a purple overlay.
Yes.
One that we were talking about last, I changed it to brown, and it muted those colors down, and it looks a lot better with it muted down like that than the way I showed you I had colored it.
Yeah. So he said he told me to always throw in some mud. I was like, okay, interesting.
It's offensive to my eyes.
Yeah. So he found the North American coloring was a little bit too bright. So So this is I think based on the Tour de France. So this is kind of like a biography book, and then you get this kind of a look and feel in this book. So they're willing to change it up and try
Very
all sorts of different
cinematic.
things. Yes.
Very cinematic. Yeah, lovely.
Oh, here they're showing you how the
different.
bike is made and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So very kind of cool. So yeah. Now this, what do you think of this?
Brighter. That
So
looks
this is
interesting.
Cover is. We'll see how it is inside. Yeah, see, it's more muted inside. Although there's some yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. So here they're doing
but there it is, muted again. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they mute it, but then they mutes with brights,
Whoa,
right?
And then boom, there's some.
They
green.
pop in
Yes.
some surprising colors.
Yeah. So very, very, very cool. Here's a more painterly book.
Yeah, that's nice.
Again, very muted.
More like an illustrated book than a comic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's painted, very much painted.
Yeah. Anastasia. So this is an interesting looking book. All right. What's this? This is a very different style. It's called Aster of Pan. So you got this kind of like watercolorish thing going on. And
Do we still have the traditional layout with rectangular panels?
Well, now there's some
Rectangular
different
and
camera
squares.
angles. Yeah, you see a
Yeah.
few different camera angles brought in.
yeah, but here they're a little bit more loose on the panel edges.
Yeah, no sharp edges. It's rough.
Yeah. And here you got a guy breaking out of a panel.
Well, yeah,
Uh-huh.
in the middle panel too. His hat's breaking.
And he's in the
plane.
background. That's what's really. And there's another one. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of.
So,
he
yeah,
breaks
so
the.
He,
Or is he?
this
No,
guy,
he's in the background. Yet he breaks the panel. Huh.
breaking the panel here again. So this guy will break the panel a little bit. I don't know if he has any like action shots where guys are like flying off the page or not. I haven't gone looking through that. So now here's an interesting one. This is kind of like, I don't know how to describe this book. Like this is kind of pop arty to me, and it's kind of
It's got a. Oh, it's very cartoony.
Yes.
It's like a 50s cartoon.
yeah. So
50s European cartoon. Yeah.
so in a weird way, this is kind of Tintin-ish, but not because the lines are thick.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but you can tell that it comes from a Tintin-ish background, but then it has like thick and thin lines that are a little bit more. But the cars are very much like here, this scene right here.
The 40s.
This is like
40s.
This is like right out of Tintin, right? It's like
Yeah.
okay, but all right. Here's something called Ayak 4. I have no idea what this is, but another different style again.
The color changes are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Per page, we go blue, aqua.
Yeah, I'd
orange,
almost rather see
yellow.
that in gray tones, to be honest, than this. Yeah.
That's
It's
interesting.
kind of distracting.
Yes, exactly. I would almost rather see it in just plain gray tones.
I'm wondering if this is
It
because
offends my eyes.
I'm wondering if it's because it's targeted to kids to keep them excited.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't know. It's
No.
but
These are going like some of the bluish green ones. I think where they look like they were kind of underwater.
Yeah.
Or it was
yeah, yeah, like that. Yeah, that's I don't care for that, to be honest.
All right.
It offends my eyes.
Now this is one of their kind of action books.
Ooh, nice.
Lovely. Definitely some research done there.
Uh-huh. So this is a very interesting book because you're reading it and it's like, oh, everything's kind of normal, and like seems like normal people and all this kind of stuff, and then you kind of end up in this like
go off the rails.
Hang on, where is it here? And here.
Here we go.
What is that?
Oh, wow. Oh,
Suddenly,
man.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like so this kind of messes with the
A
expectations because it's
spider,
like
a spider elephant.
yeah,
Wow.
so like it's like everything is normal until you reach this point, and then all of a sudden, like yeah, boom.
Well, that's
Uh,
good though.
yeah,
It kind of you're lulled into a false sense of safety, and then boom.
yeah. Now here's something a little more on the cartoony side. Uh, Back to basics. Very cute, simple, but you know,
Very comic strippy.
yeah.
Yep.
Contrapasso. This is an interesting looking book.
Limited palette again. They do
I
like
think this
their
is a
subtle palettes.
yeah. I think it's
Purple.
a great looking book. So
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
this one does not offend my eyes. I like this.
Well, I love the rim lighting on these 2 pages that are in blue and purple.
Yes. Yeah, they've done some really nice, some nice stuff there.
yeah. All
Oh,
right.
and then you get a little, you get away from that purple.
Yeah.
It's a little warmer here.
Now this might be moving back towards kind of like North American kind of stuff. Called Bandit. And so this is compared to all the other books that we've been looking at. This is a very different kind of.
Well, number one, it's
feel.
not colored, so yeah.
Yeah, but then
Right.
the panels are more,
Yeah.
in my view, more North
American.
American.
Yes.
Yeah, even though they're still using the grid pretty much, but it's very much more of an American feeling to the book.
Yeah, there's only 4 or 5, 6 panels per page.
Yeah.
3 on that one.
That one only had 3.
2,
Yeah.
This one's has 4, no 5. So that's
Oh, right.
that's more along the lines of American comics.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to jump to this one. You guys may have heard of this one called Black Sad.
Yes, I've seen this.
Yeah, so this guy's art is
yeah.
absolutely fantastic. Beautiful
and
stuff.
That's another thing I've been noticing is all the art on these books are just such high caliber.
Yeah.
Well, most of them, about 95% of them, are really high caliber art.
Yeah.
They take their art much more seriously on their comic books than we do.
Yeah, look how expressive those anthropomorphic characters are. That crocodile at the top there. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, the thing that I was just going to suggest was that perhaps the European books are a little bit more to the kind of like a novel, or more like a what is it, a serious reading approach. So
literary,
perhaps
maybe.
that's
whatever
more of a literary
comic book. Yeah, whatever the artistic, whatever the comic book art, literary
illustrated literature.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So now to bring us back into the North American thing, which kind of triggered this whole conversation in the first place, was this Batman Dylan Dog book, and I absolutely love this.
And panel borders.
So this is Batman Dylan Dog. Dylan Dog is a European comic out of Italy, I believe, and it's huge over there, and it's usually black and white. And then they decided to do a crossover with Batman here, and
lovely.
This is interesting because you got a North American book or North American character with European artists, and they bring this sensibility to the book, and it's just something else.
It's crazy. Yeah, it seems like they're trying to throw the color in that they are used to seeing in American comics, but it still comes across very European.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
The color schemes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this is like right up my alley. So let me see if I can find this really cool panel here. Where is it? Here's Batman.
Yeah, it's got kind of a Sienkiewicz feel to it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
I see some of that. Yeah, I'm getting some of that from this. Yes.
But more restrained.
Yes.
But
yeah, more refined. I think Sienkiewicz just got to let it go.
Yeah,
and it works for him.
Where? Okay, here. There we go.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
nice.
that's nice.
So now, if you look here, you can see that there's like the brushwork happening in the.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So this is yeah. So this is a very interesting, like, okay, so you've got this European sensibility mixed with a North American sensibility. And here he's breaking panel borders and stuff like that, and he's popping it off the page, and he's using extremes, which is kind of interesting. So that's a very intriguing kind of like.
Yeah, that's an amalgam of the European and American.
Yeah, because even though the colors are bright, they are still an unusual palette that you don't normally see in American comics.
Yeah. So yeah. So this is very interesting. So this was our little foray into the European books. So if you haven't looked into European books in a long time,
you have definitely caught my attention.
There's, like, I looked at all of this and I was, man, I've got a lot of reading to do. And, like, I need to go find a library somewhere and just sit down and read, like, each of these books. Like, that Raven Pirate book, I want to go check that out, like, see what that's all about.
I have 2 short boxes full of regular comics that I have to catch up on.
Yes. And between inking and coloring Divinity 4, writing, I just finished writing 5, need to start writing 6. I'm also working on the top secret book with Rob.
Yeah, we just sent you another page, so yeah,
yes.
we got more to work on.
Do you have any panels you can show us there, Rob, or?
And the Oz book that just kickstarting last night. What am I going to read?
Yes, I saw that Kickstarter for that. That's a gorgeous book. Beautiful book.
And Mickey, do you have anything you can show that you can toss up on the screen that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, I can show you the stuff I did for that Danish publisher.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, there we go. Hey, look, it's a European book in America. I mean, hang on.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. So look at that, guys. And then Barb's going to ink that and then it's going to get colored. So you guys keep your eyes peeled for this. When are they going to actually announce it officially?
Mickey's coloring that, aren't you, Mickey?
When we have the first issue done.
Yeah,
probably.
see, we have
when the
all
first
3
issue's
of
done?
the artists.
Yeah, well, no. Yeah, it'll have to be finished before we can announce it, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
That's the way Silverline does it, remember. We don't announce it until we don't put it out there until we've got it completed.
Rob's the penciler, I'm the inker, Mickey's the colorist on that top scene.
Very, very good.
Almost the whole team right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, Tim TK, is he the writer?
He's the writer.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, and he's with the Tuesday night host for Silver.
Yeah.
So 2 nights in a row here, you get the whole team.
So do you think we could? Well, we have a European penciler. Is it Peter Clinton on some of our books?
He's from the UK. Yeah.
But he does more of a North American style. So I would have been interested to hear some of his takes on how
he's a Kubert School graduate, isn't he? That's
I don't know.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yes, he is.
He's got more of the American influence because he was at the Kubert School.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure when he's back in the UK now, so that's going to start seeping into his work. I hope to see some of that start seeping into his work. He's got a beautiful style. I love it. The guy's going to go somewhere if he can ever get on the right book and get known.
Well, he's got fantastic work going on.
He's got chops. The guy's got chops.
He does.
So we're lucky to have him.
So back in the day, like, so I grew up reading North American books, and then I got into European books with Tintin and Tintin, Asterix, Obelix, and Lucky Luke, and then I read manga stuff. So I'm all over the map. I just like good art, comic art. So at one point in time, I wanted to take all of that together and mash it all into one and make North American Euro manga.
North American
with a dash of Echo Pop thrown in.
Yeah,
that was my plan.
One that had a real manga influence to it. That's definitely that was an interesting mashup of styles there.
Yeah.
So that's it. But they're all over the map. Is the thing.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in America we were so heavily influenced by say Milton Caniff and what was it, Noel Sickles for so long, and then Jack Kirby and Ditko,
Jack
and that
Kirby
kind of
especially,
stuff Kirby. Well, but even Kirby will tell you he was kind of riffing on Sickles and Caniff. They were very, very popular artists back in the day. But we're starting to finally kind of move away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my stuff is heavily influenced by that. So, I have my own style, but it's heavily influenced by that stuff.
Right. So I was going to just throw in the name Will Eisner.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm going to bring him up is because he's considered the grandfather of like the graphic novel, supposedly, but how do I put this?
He's got
was he an influence, or was he kind of like a guy who was in his own space and kind of got missed?
Well, he didn't get missed. He had what he had was a studio. He had a studio that he employed people through.
By the general populace.
Yeah, well,
by the general populace.
I had never heard of the Spirit because I grew up in a small town in Southwest Missouri, and I didn't know about the Spirit or any of that stuff. But it had it was an insert in newspapers. But the small town newspapers that I saw didn't have anything like that. Never carried that. So I'm guessing that maybe urban areas knew him, but once you got out into the flyover areas like where I live and where Barb lives,
I was born
we were not aware of who this guy was.
Rural Iowa. Yeah. I mean, unless it showed up on the unless it showed up on the pages of the Des Moines Register, and I did read Steve Canyon.
Yeah, mine was the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Springfield News Leader were the two newspapers that I saw. Mostly the Springfield News Leader because we got that every week. It was the Sunday paper we got, and it never had anything like that. We had regular. We had Steve Canyon. We had Dick Tracy.
Little Abner.
We had Lil Abner.
Little Orphan Annie.
We didn't have Pogo, which I'm
Pogo.
Not happy about. Learning about that later, I'm going, wow, I wish I'd been able to see this when I was a kid. I probably would have had more of that influence in my work.
Yeah,
Pogo, beautiful
amazing
stuff.
work.
But we didn't have Pogo.
Yeah,
we had Blondie and Dagwood and
Blondie and Dagwood,
that kind of stuff. Dick Tracy was probably it was very, very popular. Steve Canyon, which is Milt Caniff again. But living where we did. But I think that's part of it. Is that I think that the Spirit and inserts like that were only in the really big newspapers in New York, Chicago, L.A., maybe some of the bigger cities like Denver might have had it, but and maybe Atlanta. But cities like that might have gotten that sort of thing. But that's why he didn't get as popular. He wasn't as widely distributed. And then, of course, you get into the 60s, and Kirby wasn't very well known until he made a splash with Marvel. I mean, he was influential, but he wasn't really well known. In fact, today, still everybody thinks Stan Lee created everything at Marvel.
Yes.
And Jack Kirby's an afterthought. where it was really more the other way around.
Yes.
But that's what it comes down to: is do you promote yourself well enough? Stan Lee was an excellent promoter. That's what he was the best at.
Yeah.
But Kirby made the stories and made it sing. And I don't know that Eisner was that. I think he was really good at organizing and setting up studios and getting other people to work for him.
Yeah.
But and the spirit is brilliant. What I've seen of it, and I haven't seen a lot of it, even today. But it was brilliant stuff.
So he incorporated a lot of storytelling techniques that a lot of guys have picked up on or cribbed over time. It's like very, very interesting.
Well, and that's because
storytelling.
He was in the studio with a bunch of other artists that they were small names at one point working for him, and then they by osmosis they got some of his stuff, and then they moved out and did their own thing and took it with them. So it was they got it in their DNA.
Guys, I gotta cut out.
So Mickey, Barb's gonna cut out. Mickey,
right.
did you have a couple of cents to throw in there before we shut down?
I'll see you guys later.
Later, Barb.
Bye.
Sorry, what was that, Mickey?
I got some of those books. You want to look at them?
Oh, sure. Yep. All right, let's pop you up on the screen there. All right, what you got?
Let's see, where's the page? What window?
If you got them in physical form, you could hold a button in front of the camera.
All right, at the stage.
There we
go.
Okay, so this one here on the left is that Sasabasa I told you. It's more of a children's book. I don't know the size. He never told me. And I just did like all these 100 illustrations, and they put it with text. As you can see there, like that page, they didn't even put an illustration.
Yeah, that's
just
more of an illustrated children's book.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Took me a few months, 100 illustrations on it. So, but it was kind of cool to work on. Like I said, it's big over there. They got their own cartoon show and everything on it. So, and this is at one of the strips I was doing, Bill V. and Wagner. So I did that.
Kind of like Over the Hedge.
Huh?
That's kind of like the cartoon strip Over the Hedge. Kind of similar style.
Yeah. So I worked on a few of those for them, same publisher.
Mm-hmm.
This is that one that working on Sherlock Mouse. You can see there they got what 8 panels, 9 panels on that page.
Yeah.
This one's got 11.
Whoa,
man!
I think this one's got.
But there's more rooms. Yeah, it seems it's not as doesn't seem as crowded.
Yeah.
And remember, this is half an inch smaller than what we work with, and they still get pretty good on it.
Somehow it works, but okay.
Yeah. They do. It's pretty good. It's kind of hard to, like I asked them for the script, but it's all in Danish, and so it's kind of hard to get what the mood is if it's night or what the heck's going on. So you just
it's translated with Chat GTP.
Yeah, there you go.
And then this was a thing they were going for a remake of Zorro.
Okay.
They hired. I think it was an American artist that they got to do this. But,
okay.
They haven't gotten it done yet, so. But this was some of the art for it. And then that one book I showed you that was smaller, these were the pages for it.
Right. Very cool.
So it's a lot different than ours. But he was pretty big over there too. Duke Drengen. Their superhero comic.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you see the colors are more brighter, you know, the ones you were showing. So it's kind of funny seeing like this is the way he wants his comics done in Denmark compared to the other countries. It's maybe it's just a publisher preference. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're coming up with this one. He's got a few other books that I guess he's looking hopefully to get off the ground. They're, you know, remakes of Zorro and stuff like that are big over there, I guess, in Denmark. We did a Doctor Who. We did a Doctor Who book with like 4 or 5 different short stories in it. So that last one I showed you with that guy Dukes Drengen, the artist on that, he's actually doing Spider-Man for Marvel now.
Oh wow! There you go. That's awesome.
That was his work 20 years ago, back in 2003. His name Juan Ferreira.
Oh yes, I've seen his name. Yes.
Yeah, you seen him?
I guess I probably saw it in previews for Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was his work 20 years ago.
Wow, time flies, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of time flying, we do have to pack it in. So thank you for joining us on this ride, and it was an adventure seeing all these different styles that the European books do. I realize I have a lot of reading and catching up to do, and it's going to be a interesting journey to go find some of these books. So if you guys want your minds bent with some different styles of books, go look into the European market. That they have some very interesting stuff going on over there. So, and as we say every single time, make mine Silverline.
Silverline.
Hi, my name is Paul Kupperberg. Make mine Silverline.